Jeremiah wins. Jeremiah wins. Peace, peace, peace. What's happening with y'all? YouTube? What's going on, man? We back with another video. It's been a minute, but I'm trying to get discipline myself enough to be consistent. I'm hoping I can be heard. We'll have to see on the playback since no one is in the lab just yet. We up in early morning and it's all good. It's channel check episode number 2. Live reviews and reactions. Got some really great content that I'd like to react to. Some that I, watched a few seconds of, a few minutes of, and then was like, oh, I'm not gonna watch the rest of this because I want to do a live reaction to this. Some videos that I have yet to watch, but I know it's going to be real good stuff. Y'all hear my man J2 in the background chat. He says, peace, peace, peace. Good morning, just always me. What's going on with you? I appreciate you guys for pulling up, checking me out this morning. Yeah, man, channel check episode 2. So the first video that I actually wanted to do a reaction to today comes from Dr. Thunder's channel. Every morning at about 8:30 a.m. I hang out with Dr. Thunder and the good folks over there on Rolling Thunder. Always provocative conversation and discussion over there. This is a video from earlier this week titled Feelings Over Family. And the topic of discussion was that how modern women all tend to put their personal feelings over, above, and beyond their family. So we're going to watch some of this. We're going to react to it. I'll do some commentary here and there as we move through the video. Here on YouTube, this channel is an open love letter to my son, Jeremiah. And this particular video, or the first video that we're going to react to, the Feelings Over Family video, it hit home for me, which is why I wanted to react to it. Now, I caught this live on Dr. Thunder's show, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. So I've actually already, seen this first video that I'm going to react to, and I'm not going to react to the entire video because this video is a 3-hour video. But we're going to speed through and react to certain portions of the video. But it hits home for me, this video, because it is my experience that my ex-wife, my son's mother, indeed put her personal feelings over the feelings of the rest of the family, specifically my son, her husband, my son, our son, and myself, her husband at the time. It also hits close to home, this subject matter, because my mother divorced my father for no good reason, as far as I can tell, when I was about 2, maybe 3 years old. And as I became an adult, as I grew and began to understand some of these relationship dynamics and what men and fathers in particular go through dealing with women, I've come to the realization that my mother was indeed selfish as hell in her decision to divorce my father. And in her decision to divorce my father, she didn't consider anyone's feelings but her own. She did not consider the feelings or the interest or the future of her boys, myself and my older brother E. And she didn't take into consideration, my father. My mom acted selfishly, and she put her feelings over family. And this seems to be an ongoing uh, an ongoing thing in our society where women break up families based on momentary feelings. And in the day and age in which we live of social media, we see it all the time where some of these women, they post to social media their desire to divorce, and then they post that whole process and they make it public. And a lot of times, Tia Mowry comes to mind. Very public. Tia Mowry, divorced from her husband, and she celebrated her divorce. She called it a graduation, and a lot of other women, cheered her on. And again, yes, J2, thank you for reminding me. This is just a reminder. This is one example, a glaring example, but it happens all the time. And this Tia Mowry and her husband or her ex-husband, Corey Hardrick, they are celebrities, so it's a bit easier to see in that particular case. But you watch these women go through the process, and they all come to a realization after they divorced their husbands, after they destroyed their families. Sometime down the road, you'll see these same women who celebrated their graduation. They threw divorce parties, celebrated, the breaking up of their families. And then, within a year's time or a little more than a year, these same women will post to their social media how much they regret having divorced their husbands and ruined their families. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into some of this video because it is the first of quite a few videos we will be watching this morning and reacting to and reviewing to. Let's get started.
Will be, let's see here.
Let me make sure you guys can hear this.
Dad Shack 2X, who is looking at a no food gazing quest.
Shout out to that Shack 2 times. We speed through just a little bit because
all right, so we'll see what that's about. We shout a few people out.
Yeah, we're gonna skip through the shout outs. I don't want to give you guys Dr. Thunder's entire show. I am there every weekday morning at 8:30 a.m. I love it, and I appreciate Dr. Thunder for the work that he does. So again, shout out to Dr. Thunder and shout out to Roland Thunder. You guys should definitely go give his page a like, follow, subscribe. I see my man Ryan O'Deuce has popped in on IG. Peace, 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 King with the Science. Channel check, episode 2, Sucker Free Sunday edition. And man, I just was listening to give me 1 second, man, as I was actually getting ready. Yeah, that New Orleans freestyle, man. And I like the way you you ask Conway, they don't shoot me, Conway. I just come to kick it. That's flash shit, my dude. You know what I'm saying? And smart marketing. Man, y'all gotta check out my man Ryan the Deuce. You guys been hanging out with me for a minute. You hear me playing them in the background and stuff. And we'll definitely, before we end this show, as a matter of fact, there are a few bars from my man that I'd like to bring to you, so we definitely will get into that. But for the time being, man, let's get into this Dr. Thunder video again. The video that we're going to review, the first video is Feelings Over Family. And in this video, man, we're just going to showcase how the seeming majority of modern American women or Western women have absolutely no qualms, no problems whatsoever putting their personal feelings over above that of their families, their husbands, their children, etc. So let's get into it. Yeah, man, that good Dr. Thunder. Let's go. I just want to be honest. I love the intro music to his show, by the way.
Sometimes you know, you make mistakes, but you're trying. You know, that's like, I think that's mostly what men want is for the woman to keep that same energy. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case with women as far as what they want from their guy. Now, first of all, there's a built-in expectation that the guy's career is going to be growing, developing. What's happening for this journal?
Shout out to Friedman's Journal.
That he's going to make more money, that he's going to be getting bonuses and pay raises and promotions on his job, that he'll be able to afford more vacations, and you'll be able to do more things as time goes on. That's implied, it's not explicitly stated.
Hold up, man. I'm just realizing, man. Because he caught me off guard, I look over and see my man in the chat. I ain't do it right, man, when he came in here, but we won't do it right now, man. It's time for my man. Shout out to my man, Ryan Deuce once more, man. All right, man, back to the video.
It's implied, right? Because, I mean, and of course we hear about this all the time, you know, dude, he's happy with his job. He works a factory gig. He doesn't need a promotion. He's straight. He's making 65K, 70K, whatever it is. And he lives for the weekend. You know, he's not working to work. He's working to live. You know, and he lives on the weekend. He has activities. He's got different things that he does. He's got hobbies. He's got his friends, friend group. He's got all this, right? I think the expectation is that the guy grow out of stuff, as it were. Well, that was okay for you to be playing video games when we first got married. But if you're getting older, you shouldn't really be playing video games anymore.
So real quick, man, just for some context, man. The young lady on the screen, they posted to her social media. I guess she calls herself giving dating advice to younger men. The advice that she gave was absolutely horrible advice. Because at the end of it all, bottom line is the advice that she was giving to young men, it just benefits her. You know, nothing about what she was advising young men to do in their relationships with women was of any actual benefit to the young men to whom she was speaking. But the advice was meant to instruct men on how to be better men for women, not for the men just to be better men for themselves, but the men to be better men for women so that women could obtain more benefits through the relationship with the men, right? Um, and in this first segment, Dr. Thunder is highlighting the fact that as she dispenses all of this advice, which again was absolutely horrible, horrible advice. Um, she's instructing young men how to simp and how to play themselves out. Um, it's all about her. It's about her needs and her feelings, right? So my he's talking about the expectation that once you enter in, or the woman enters into a marriage with the man, there's some seeming expectation that he will always be doing well financially, and that's not always the case. We've seen on social media, all across the internet, we've seen these examples, and some we've seen in real life, in the real world. We see these examples where as soon as someone loses a job or takes a pay cut or whatever else it is, the wife or the woman is like, "Up, that's it, I'm out." "Oh, you lost your job, you got fired, I want a divorce." Um, and that's not always the case, but we see plenty examples of when that is the case. When I was married, uh, there was an expectation relative to what Dr. Thunder was just saying, like, "Oh, you can't play video games anymore, you can't hang out with your friends anymore, you can't do this anymore because you got other responsibilities." Well, at one point I was a rapper, right, and an aspiring record producer, and the expectation of my then wife and her mother at the time was that, okay, like once I had gotten married, that I wasn't supposed to pursue that anymore, right? I was supposed to find something more practical, like riding on a trash truck, for example. My ex-wife's mother, former mother-in-law, once suggested, "Get a job riding on a trash truck." "I don't want to ride on those damn trash trucks." Like, I spent a lot of time studying and learning this one thing, and this is what I aim to do, right? But let's proceed.
So there seems to be like an expectation that the guys need to change. But guys don't want to stay the same. They just want to stay that same way.
Keep that same energy. Don't switch up on
And yeah, it's an interesting sort of dynamic. But you often you have this thing where this guy that's making maybe 60, 70K, he makes money so that he can do what he needs to do, so he can hang on the weekend, X, Y, and Z. He's got his friend, his girl, before they were married, was no issue with it. They get married, no issue with it, at least for the first couple of years. And then all of a sudden, then there starts to arise these different expectations. And then if the guy is not getting, advancing on his job, then it's like, well, why are you're satisfied with that 70K? You're satisfied with, and then start pressing, you know. Now the thing is that given that ninja a pep talk, as it were, I don't know that that's going to go well because he don't really want to do anything more than what he was doing. he don't really want to do more than what he's doing. And he told you that. And he was okay with it. But now it's different, right?
That's different.
Because there really was always an expectation that he was going to change and grow into the guy that you really want. Right? Whereas when a guy gets a wife, gets a girl, she is the girl he wants already, right there. She's the one that he wants.
So what Dr. Thunder just said, I find to be true. When a guy gets the girl that he is interested in, he is more often than not happy with her as she is. He gets the girl, the woman that he wants. Whereas, there's a seeming expectation on the opposite side, on the opposite end, that our women, they have this belief that they are settling and they don't want to settle, for someone who's not on their level, yada yada, so on and so forth, right? So there's oftentimes seemingly an expectation that you will go through some type of metamorphosis once entering into relationship with said woman, and that you will change for her in some way. Right? That's what Dr. Thunder's talking
Just
about
like
here.
he is, nothing has to change, just stay the same. No development needed, no growth needed. I mean, you get to know each other better, but no expectation of any development. You don't need to make, dudes don't care if you make money anyway. I mean,
You're not going to spend your money on nothing. All right, so the
no
expectation.
expectation of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, understanding, you have kids, you have a life event, things change, they can be understanding. But really, he just wants it to stay the same. That's all. Pretty simple. All right, let's keep going.
Moving it all.
Yeah. So the last thing I was going to say is with respect to ambition or the lack of ambition. One of the reasons I said I don't really need or want a pep talk. I'm already ambitious. I'm making moves. I'm doing the thing, right? So I don't really want or need you to push me, right? I don't need that. But support, a guy like me, support, and like I said, sometimes support is silent. Often it's silent.
So, and just real quick, again, so the young lady featured on the screen behind me, and you guys forgive me if I'm moving around a little bit. I'm moving around for a reason, trying to get myself just comfortable being on camera, in front of camera every day. And at the same time, I'm streaming on 3 different platforms, broadcasting on 3 different platforms. So I got 3 different angles, 3 different camera angles going on right now. And I want to make sure that I'm giving each a little attention and, checking comments and so on and so forth. But what Dr. Thunder is talking about right here, man, is, or excuse me, the young lady behind me, she's so-called giving a pep talk to young men. That's why Dr. Thunder is talking about, I don't need no pep talk, right? I don't need you to give me no pep talk. I don't need you to motivate me and try to, like, I know what I want to do. I need you to get in line and move in the direction I'm moving in, right?
It's just there.
And I'm giving you this advice. So listen to me for a few more minutes. These are the things I need you to do. 1, when you are being alone, when you
Again, the advice that she is dispensed. So first and foremost, let me say this. to any younger man out there that would accept this particular advice, I would advise you not to. It is horrible, horrible, horrible advice. She may be well intentioned. She might mean well, the advice is horrible.
Feeling like things are hard, when you're feeling like the world is against you, I need you to build a support structure around you. I need you to never suffer alone. Yes, you're strong, yes, you're capable, yes, you can do many things, but don't suffer alone, okay? You need to build a support structure around you. That needs to be a priority in your life.
Now, the advice starts off well. Sounds good. She's right. She's got a point. Cool. I'm not saying that everything she says is off or wrong, but once you actually get through everything that she's saying and listen to it in totality, you would understand that it's all for her benefit. Her being this particular young woman, but all women. Like, the advice is not necessarily designed to benefit the young men to whom she's speaking. It's to benefit her, right? It's advice. A so-called pep talk or motivational speech meant to put you in position so that she can benefit from it, right?
You need to.
Okay, now this seems to lead into fine.
You skip the super chat.
This seems to lean into a certain kind of misunderstanding or just failure to recognize how men.
And real quick, Dr. Thunder himself is married. He's got an awesome, lovely family. One of the reasons I like Dr. Thunder, just by the way, he is a musician. And I think that that's dope.
Women really do need a support structure. They need like other girlfriends, they need X, Y, and Z. They need that because in order for a woman to survive, a community and society is necessary. A man can survive just him. But a woman needs, what's happening back here? A woman needs other people. Right? And I'm not suggesting that having friends, having a support network for a man is not a positive thing. Yeah, it's a positive thing. That's cool. But it's not necessary. A guy can go it alone. And the way that men tend to heal, as it were, or get over certain things is, I don't know, through hobbies, doing stuff where maybe they have some friends, but when they get together, they're not talking through issues. They just doing they just doing.
Tyrus, what's going on? Peace, peace, peace. Jalen, what's happening? King Freak R, Villa 200787, what's happening?
They doing, right? They going, fishing. Fishing ain't really about talking. Doing certain kinds of hobbies and things is not really about talking, having a community of people to talk to. But one thing is true. If a guy has a bunch of people around him, it's more likely that the way that they're going to counsel him is going to keep him more compatible with the group. And again, you understand that women need the group. So you can understand why a woman would counsel guys to develop a support mechanism, because that support mechanism is going to tend to keep them compatible with and compliant with the group. Okay, now I'm not saying that she is aware of why she's saying this.
And of course, I don't think that she is aware of why she is saying it. She is a woman, so she's giving her advice from the perspective of a woman, right? And therein lies the disconnect. She's a woman attempting to give advice to men and younger men in particular. So this is like a mommying of men, the mothering, the mommying of men. For those who were raised by a single mother, such as myself, I grew up in for the most part, a single mother-led household. While the advice is often well-meaning, it's just not applicable. It misses the mark because the women are not in position and are not equipped to anticipate or understand what is required of manhood. And this is where her advice misses the mark. And this is why her advice, ultimately, her pep talk to young men is horrible advice. I should have put the echo on that one.
This is the stuff that's running in the background. I don't take what it is that she's doing as nefarious or her attempt at propaganda. Right?
I should have put.
Propaganda. I don't think that's what she's doing. I think she actually is trying to help. And shout out to her. Because it is a good thing for men, I think, to at least have the sense that women actually do care about men, even random men. That's not a bad thing. However, the actual reason why this seems like a good idea, and again, she's probably not thinking about this or aware of this, is because if you have a bunch of guys that basically just become recluse, they just go, to a cabin in the woods, they're going to be less useful to the community. They're going to be less useful to society, and they need society. What's happening? What's happening in Webster Papadopoulos?
To also surround yourself, in building that support structure, surround yourself with men whom you look up to. And sometimes those individuals.
No. Now part of this is good because you do need men.
And again, to be fair, the advice is well intentioned and it's not all bad. And taking in bits and pieces, the things that she says, it's like, okay, that's good, that's common sense, that makes sense. But when you tie it all together and reach the end of what she's saying, you end up realizing that, wait a minute, all of this, while some of it might be good for me as a man, but at the end, it's all to benefit you. And she says as much, be better, and it's a thing that women say, I've heard said and have witnessed on the internet, where women say, be better men for us. Not be better men for yourself, not be better men for your fellow man, not be better men for your brethren, not be better men for your children, not be better men first and foremost for yourself, for your own self, but be better men for us meaning women.
As mentors. 80 people watching, only 52 likes. Please hit that like button.
How many people we got watching, Doc?
You need mentors. What's happening, Captain Cisco?
Individuals are not in your immediate environment or immediate surroundings. You may need to go to the internet, to YouTube, to social media, and look and find and be very discerning of the media that you are allowing into your space and of the voices that you are listening to. Ask yourself, is this a
Capital Shine is in the building. What's going on, Capital Shine? Double child. So shout out to the good folks over at Capital Shine, man. Listen well. You need your vehicle wrapped. If you need acrylic coating, if you need any type of protective coating, if you need a wax, a shine, a detail, a shampoo, you need your suede seats steamed clean, and your ride, and you are in the DMV area, man, pull up on Capital Shine, man. They put you in there. They'll put you all the way in there, man. They keep your ride clean, as brand new, if not better than brand new. And trust me when I tell you, the boys over there can get your joint better than brand new. Shout out to Capital Shine, man. I see you in the building.
kind of man whom I would like to become? Is this a...
Okay, now this is what's happening. Tunnel run. Now this is okay, what's happening, Kelly G? So one of my issues, she obviously has an idea of who you should be listening to and who you shouldn't be listening to. Now she's not going to say what that list is, but I'm sure that content that expresses critique of female behavior or content that tries to...
Yeah, J2, I agree actually with you on that, man. I mean, yeah, I think that you're right.
Show men, hey, avoid these kind of folks, do this, don't do that. Along those lines, navigating, messaging like, the single mother is probably not the best choice for a young man. That kind of message, that's probably not the kind of stuff that she wants you listening to.
It's probably not the kind of stuff that she or a lot of these women want you listening to. It's not, is it, J2? You don't think so? I don't think so either. That's not the type of advice they want you to listen to as young men. We'll see. Let's proceed. I don't think that she would like you listening to those type of videos. Not with her mommy mentality, right? And it's a funny thing because so many black children, Kit Kat, what's going on? So many American children generally, but so-called black children specifically, are raised by single mothers. And, this leaves the boys, the sons, ill-equipped to go out into the world, um, you know. So on TikTok the other night, I was on a panel discussion and I was talking. Well, the discussion was a couple of single mothers, and they wanted to get some perspective from some men. And when it was my turn to speak, I had told a young lady, and shout out to her, I don't remember her name. She was awesome. She was a sweetheart. She was raising two boys. Her son, one of her sons was 23 years old. The other was 16. She actually had let them, you know, join in on the panel discussion. So I had the chance to speak to those two young guys, which was an honor and a privilege. Shout out to them. But, you know, ultimately the advice that I had left that young single mother with is that you can prepare your children, your boys, for adulthood. Sounds like you've done a great job at that. There's no possible way that you can prepare and equip them for manhood. And that's a different thing entirely than just adulthood. And more often than not, you know, we find that that's the case, where these single mothers are able, if not, you know, willing, you know, an ability and a willingness are two different things, but they may be willing, if not able, or able, if not willing, to prepare their children for adulthood. They are not able, even though willing they may be, they are not able to prepare their male offspring for manhood.
So without saying it, and I don't know how specific she's going to get. I'm sure we could come up with a list of things that we would say, hey, this is good for us to, you know, to interface with. You've got guys comparing notes, sort of hipping each other to the game, as it were, helping each other out, this kind of thing. Helping each other out by warning them of certain, you know, kinds of common behaviors and X, Y, and Z. That, you know, that's toxic, right? It's going to be described as toxic.
The kind of person I would like my son to become if you have a son. Is this the kind of person that would make me?
That right there, the type of person I want my son to become. Whoa. I'm gonna come back to that. Let's see what she said.
Proud of being when I'm 18, 19, however years old. You know, so ask yourself these questions when you are listening to people. Don't only look at the money that they have, right? We love money. You know, I love money. We love money. All is wonderful. All money is great. We like that, and we want you to have all the money. You know, not only to spend on us, but you know, we want you to have all the money.
Okay, now it's a joke, right? She was just saying.
She talked like it was a joke, Dr. Thunderbird. For me, and apparently for you, that was a little bit of a red flag. That was wait a minute. Hold it, though.
Joke. But she also, in that joke, is saying, look, this is why we want you to have money. I realize that as you do better, it's going to make us do better.
Oh, man, real quick, man. Andre, peace. Brother, I think about you often. I hope that you are okay out there in Haiti. Man, shout out to my good brother, man, Dre, my good Haitian friend. My man was deported back to Haiti some years ago, and with the the news reports coming out of Haiti, oftentimes, brother, I think about you. Peace, peace, King. Now you stay in my prayers, bro. Believe that. I think about you often, man, and sometimes I worry, but at the same time, I know how thorough and how sharp of an individual that you are. And I know that you'll be okay, that somehow, some way, your steps are guided, um, and you are a light. You are a light in dark times and in a dark place, man. So I'm glad to see you here today. Um, Peace to you, brother.
See, part of my issue is, and this is why what is it, Richard Reeves? I keep calling him an imposter because he's a feminist, and that's his real dog in the fight.
So real quick, Dr. Thunder just made mention of this guy, Dr. Richard Reeves. Dr. Richard Reeves is the mainstream media milk toast, mealy mouth, palm colored guy who is out he's doing a good work, but he is half stepping. Um, I guess the most recent book he put out is Of Men and Boys. And Dr. Richard Reeves talks about how the last 60 or so years of women's empowerment has come at the expense of boys and men. And that 60 years in to, feminism and women's empowerment, that, the boys and the men are in the same socioeconomic position as the girls and women were when the women's movement started. So the pendulum has swung in the opposite direction, and now it is boys and men who need uh, some type of programs and so on and so forth, because we are lagging behind women, right? The girls and the women, they're running circles around the men, right? They're taking, so that's who this guy Richard Reeves is. Give me 1 second, I'm actually gonna pull it up. Of Boys and Men. I've seen him speak on a few podcasts. I've seen him on a few. This guy here. I didn't mean to hit that power button on you. Hold it, pause. This guy, Dr. Richard Reeves, and his book Of Boys and Men. And so the funny thing about Dr. Richard Reeves is a lot of the stuff he says, which Dr. Thunder is well aware, is stuff that Black men have been saying on YouTube and on social media for the past several years, at least 10 years, in the so-called Black manosphere. So it's kind of like this guy, Richard Reeves, is taking some of the talking points from men on the internet and presenting them in the mainstream media in a more easily digestible format that's perhaps not as, what's the word? Not as abrasive, I guess, which is not really the word, but it's somewhere along those lines. But he takes the message to the mainstream media, but he waters it down. Like he really, really waters it down, and it sucks. I notice I'm getting just a little feedback, man. Let me know if you guys, if that's a lot, that feedback. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I got a couple of mics going and a couple of, speakers. So just let me know if it's affecting your quality of the broadcast. Zeke, what's up, Zeke? Or is it ZK? What's going on? Peace, peace, peace.
But supposedly he's supposed to be the men's rights advocate. He's supposed to be the men and boys,
Dr. Richard Reed,
expressing concern and
supposedly the men's rights advocate.
Supposed to be advocating for us. But everything that he says, it goes back to benefiting women.
So, and again, Dr. Richard Reed himself is a feminist who is supposedly advocating for boys and men. And as Dr. Thunder just pointed out, everything he says ultimately, goes, to the benefit of women. So that's why we have a problem with Dr. Richard Reed. Love is in the building. What's going on, EJ? What's happening, Love? Peace, peace, peace.
So how is that actually advocating for men? That seems like it's at least vicariously advocating for women. It's like advocating men is a necessary evil. I just can't, yeah.
But when you're looking for a mentor, there must be more than only the money, right? There must be more to that person. Look at their values. Look at whether they have integrity or not. Look at the happiness, or rather, like how are their children? How is the wife being treated? How do they value family?
See, all of this stuff is really about reproducing men that are going to be compliant, that are going to be easy to plug into society, that are going to be useful for the sake of securing and improving the lives of women. That's the issue. Now, I don't disagree with many of the things that she said. And on the surface, a lot of it sounds good.
How are they treating people in society? And most importantly, how do they treat the person for whom they don't need anything from? So,
what did I say? I mean, look, I haven't watched this video. Again, her suggestion to get a group of people that are your support mechanism really is about that support mechanism helping you to become and reproduce the kind of values that are productive for society, but society specifically, she is acutely aware is necessary for her survival and for other women's survival. Even the women that get on saying stuff like, well, men are not necessary anymore. We don't really need men like that anymore. Well, you're not aware of how you need.
Say J2? J2, repeat that.
Yeah. things that a man would have done for you have been replaced by a bunch of men. So the ones that protect you, the ones that are paying taxes to subsidize your lifestyle, because most of the taxes are being paid by men.
I got it. What's going on? Peace, peace, peace.
Those that are maintaining the
J2
infrastructure,
says peace, peace, peace.
the electric grid, the men that designed all the tech, created all the technology.
So basically, Dr. Thunder, like, he's pointing out the same thing, the obvious thing for men who have viewed and listened to what this young woman had to say. Ultimately, everything is to benefit her. We're gonna skip forward a little bit because this particular video is the longest video of the day. And again, I'm not going to go through this entire video because it is so long. I will leave it linked in the description for YouTube. You guys should go check it out. Again, it's Dr. Thunder. Every morning at about 8:30 a.m. he does a morning broadcast, Rolling Thunder with Dr. Thunder. And it's always a really good show. I suggest you guys visit his channel and drop a like over there and hit the subscribe button. Let's see, we'll speed through just a little
They
bit.
didn't want to have to serve.
Let's get to, let's see.
And so, if it is indeed a man's world, fine. That's fine. Please make it safe for us. This is me.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. If it is a man's world, please make it safe for us, her being women. Everything she had to say throughout her entire little video, which was a few minutes long, at the end of it, when you get to the end of it, it's not about you. It's not about none of you ninjas. It's about her. And this is the theme that we will see repeated and repeated.
There you go. Like I said, I did not watch this video. This is a live reaction.
Yes, J2. Ain't that some ish, J2. How she at the J2 peeping game. Y'all hear my Astromech AI assistant, my chat bot in the back, man. I don't do the internet without J2. He helps me navigate the web in a fashion that is safe and secure. J2 watches my back online. Thank you, J2.
There you go. See, the point here was for her to advocate for you ninjas to protect women. So now, everything that's been said, that is the context. She's an imposter.
I didn't say it. Dr. Thunder said it. She is an imposter. Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? So, yeah, she's an imposter. That's correct, J2. Fakey, as you call her. She's a fakey. A chameleonaire, she is. Let's listen to Dr. Thunder's analysis real quick. Yeah, safety. That's what you said, right?
right? She supposedly is advocating for you. She's saying, hey, this is what's going to be good for you as a person. Get yourself a mentor, do X, Y, and Z.
We're gonna skip them super chats.
The mask slowly came off.
The mask slowly came off, someone said.
You know, at some level, a woman is going to end up advocating for herself, and that's okay. I don't see a problem with that. Men can advocate for themselves, right? I don't see an issue with that. I don't see an issue with women advocating for themselves. No issue with that. I expect them to do that. You know, that's a hardwired survival strategy. You have to do that. You must. You know, especially as a woman, you must. You have to advocate, voice your grievance to general society, or whatever. You must do that because that's because you need society for your survival. I'm talking about women. They need society. They need community.
Explain, J2. Why you say that? Why you mean Dr. Thunder or the girl? Y'all gotta learn how to speak droid, man. Learn how to talk to your technology. That's the future we heading into, like it or not. On you, J2. Go ahead. That's interesting. An interesting perspective. But that's the point, J2. Her as a female, she would advocate for herself and her self-interest at the expense of boys and men. That's, I guess, it seems that is part of female nature, J2. Dre says misguided. Now, the young lady, her advice is misguided. I would agree, 100%. Um, well, that is a good argument, J2. Let's explore that for a second. As the so-called weaker sex, um, that's what they say. But yeah, she would definitely advocate for herself. One of the things about females, seemingly, is that because they are the weaker sex, they often default to some form of deception or trickery to get their needs met. Does that make sense? On you. Okay. Let's proceed.
Men, not so much.
I am like
Society's great.
I am like Han Solo with an afro. I'm like the black Captain Kirk over here, man. And that's what it is, man. Y'all better get hit, man. Moving into the future. Candy Man, what's happening, man? Peace, peace, peace. Andrew, what's good with you?
Having infrastructure, having all this stuff is great. But it's not necessary for survival. We can go out in the woods and actually survive. Now, a lot of men can't do that because they never learn the stuff that they should learn to be able to survive. What's happening, Deacon Brown?
So
Keep leaving now. for us women, please make it a safe world for us. In the process of fathering yourself, in the process of taking good care of yourself, please do your best.
She says, and I skipped past this part trying to move through this video. She had, yeah, she talked about uh, young men fathering themselves. And that's, again, this is a woman speaking from the perspective of a woman, and her worldview, it somehow makes sense that a young man who does not, or a boy who does not have a father, can somehow successfully father himself, which is why she just used that term. You know, remember, you know, when you father yourself. Let's say what she said. It's pure foolishness, if you ask me.
Pleading now for us women, please make it a safe world for us. In the process of fathering yourself, in the process of taking good care of yourself, please do your best when you're with your friends, you know, your dudes, your guys, I don't know what men call each other, bros. When you're all together, father one another and check one another, right? If somebody is acting a certain way, if somebody is bragging about treating women a certain way,
You caught that, J2? Dr. Thunder's exasperated. Yeah, I can't see Dr.
What did I say?
I can't see Dr. Thunder. I got the headphones over here. I can't see Dr.
What I said?
Thunder over here.
Like I said, I hadn't watched this video. But if you listen to my assessment, early on, she hadn't even said that much yet. I called this whole thing, right? Because it's the same thing over and over.
Shout out that Dr. Thunder, man.
say something, do something. And I'm not just asking this for myself, for when I walk from my car into my place at 2 a.m. in the morning after work, wanting to feel safe. I'm asking this for the daughter that you'll have if you don't have a daughter yet. I'm asking this for your wife, your sister. I'm asking this for all of us because we want to feel safe and we love you.
And I'm glad you caught that. You sharp.
And we can only feel safe when we are protected by you.
I'm laughing at Dr. Thunder. Yeah, man.
You need to submit to the order of the natural order, then, the order of protection.
So, as Dr. Thunder rightfully advises, if you need the protection of men, and as a woman or as women, and you only feel safe when you are protected by men, then as Dr. Thunder just stated, you need to get in line. You need to respect the natural order and fall in line. Peace, peace, peace. Let me, my man Dre want to pop in on IG. Let's get him up in here now. Give me 1 second, cause let me, and let me pull this out real quick. Now, Dre, I need to know if I can be heard because this was mic'd up and I just took out that mic. Let me see real quick. Some adjustments to the sound. Peace, peace, peace. Oh, you left out. Okay, I just saw the request and maybe I missed it. If you're still in, Dre, you could send another request. I apologize for missing that. I got some things sitting up on my little creation station here and I didn't see the notification down here. But you can definitely send another request for it. Proceed.
God over man, man over wife, wife over children. That's how you're protected. Random men should not be expected to protect random women.
Random men should not be expected to protect random women. That's fair. As a random man, I have no expectation that I can go outside and meet some random woman and she cooks and cleans and does my laundry for me and takes care of my kids for me and that's
So yes, we need you. We need you more than you think. And in needing you, we recognize that there are more men who care deeply about being the best version of themselves than the other kinds of men. And I don't want you to hear this and think I'm blaming you for world problems and whatnot. But you have more power than you think. You really have more power than you think, more power than you know in making this world, it's going to sound so corny, a better place.
so. Again, this video, we will skip to the next one because this is a rather lengthy video as Dr. Thunder tends to do long form content, which I enjoy. I'm taking notes, by the way, Dr. Thunder. But I don't want to spend too much time on this particular video. Now, in this particular stream from Dr. Thunder, there are two more videos that follow this of women. There is an Aaron Bird video. I enjoy Aaron Bird's YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to her channel. And she talks about how she was tricked by feminism. And I think real quick, let's actually speed through because I don't want to miss the second video either. Like that's important, y'all. I need that. So we can be done with this young lady. Let's get to this next video. And again, the theme is, however, feelings over family, right? And that's just the first video, feelings over family. So let's same feelings over family. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. We'll take a look at Aaron Bird, and she's gonna talk about how she was pretty much brainwashed by feminist ideology and how she came to realize that feminism is a bunch of BS. All right, so let's jump into that real quick.
Married woman. Let's see what she's talking about.
Let's see what she's talking about, Doc.
And this is Aaron Bird. And
fair use all around. J2, fair use me, J2. On you. J2 says fair use.
Producing great content. And this video is why I fell for feminism. Why I fell for feminism. Remember our topic today is feelings over family. This is the
feelings over family, feels over fam. I'm gonna do the remix here. Feels over fam. Your mother is hella selfish. Shout out to Aaron Bird real quick. I like this chick. That's Aaron Bird. I like this chick. She is plain Jane attractive. I like. She's, you know, kind of nerdy with the little glasses. I like, it's kind of cute. She's well read. I like. I too am well read. I enjoy reading. Uh, Strictly nonfiction. I'm not into reading fantasy and fakery. Um, and Erin Bird is just, she is a smart woman. So shout out to Erin Bird. Again, I enjoy her content and I do subscribe to her channel and check her out every now and again. So shout out to Erin Bird.
Downfall of the West. Our primary video, which will be after this one, is a No Fugazi, a look at a No Fugazi clip.
And some people have been saying that the no fugazi is a lot of fugazi. I don't really know, but I'll keep my thoughts on that to myself at this particular time. J2, you funny. I'm not gonna translate that. Be nice.
Where this feelings over family is on full display.
Nice.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I look at feminism as a failed social experiment, and I've made videos that address issues surrounding feminism. But in the past,
So Erin Bird looks at feminism as a failed social experiment, and oftentimes on her channel, she dives into feminism and feminist ideology and dissects and exposes it for what it is, which is why I enjoy her channel. For those of you who may have been wondering, like, why is this guy watching this, you know, little nerdy palm-colored chick? That's why.
I used to be the biggest feminist you could ever meet. Recently, I was asked what it took for me to go from being such an advocate for feminism to loudly renouncing feminism today. People are curious to know what took place. What was my journey? There was a process involved that required me to get to a point where I questioned my own beliefs. During this process, I learned from reality. I started noticing the
What's going on? Peace, peace, peace. Bella Scott, B Stone, JC, what's going on? Peace, peace, peace.
impact feminism was having on individual people. Unfortunately, this took several years and a lot of mistakes in order for me to finally come to terms with the lessons life taught me. With that being said, I'm glad that I'm no longer under the delusions of feminism, and I'll be able to pass on what I've learned about it to my daughter and hopefully to my audience as well.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her for this. This is
Big shout out to Erin Bird. So I discovered Erin Bird's channel. Like, all I watch is YouTube. I do not, well, that's not all the way true. I'm a huge Walking Dead head. I love anything Walking Dead, AMC. So like when I watch TV, like that's probably what I watch. Anything other than that, I'm on YouTube. And I discovered Erin Bird's channel maybe a year and a half ago, and I began watching some of her videos. She was doing some book reviews, and the books that she was reviewing, they revolved around feminism and feminist ideology. And I remember when I first came across her channel, I recall thinking to myself, how come this white chick gets it, or excuse me, this Wyatt chick gets it, and Keisha don't get it? I recall thinking to myself, Keisha followed Becky into feminism, would Keisha be willing and able to follow Becky out of feminism? How come she gets it but Keisha don't get it? What's going on? But anyway, proceed.
This is a really, really great video. Now, I did watch this. I thought this was funny. I watched it. It's just a good video. I really dig her work. And look, I'm not deluded. She is just as interested in preservation of herself as a woman and creating a construct that is healthy for women, but she's also concerned about what is going to be healthy for men, right? But that is secondary. Her concern for men is secondary to her concern for women, but in particular for herself. So that we already know that. We know that that is the case. It was the case in the last video. It's going to be the case in this video. The difference is that what it is that she's advocating for in showing her work, I think that her view of things, what she arrived at, is far more healthy for society because it is not.
So, as Dr. Thunder just pointed out, making a mistake, even Erin Bird, ultimately, her position, and again, she's a woman, so her position, ultimately, it's meant to benefit her and women. And we'll see that. Yeah, absolutely, Jason.
Prioritizing feelings over family.
Feels
She
over
just
fam.
prioritizing family and came to a point where she needed to prioritize.
Feelings over family. And that is the problem. Women tend to put their personal feelings, they tend to prioritize them over their families.
And because of that, the benefit to her was that she's doing better. Her marriage is better. Excellent. So that's what it is that she's detailing here.
In order for me to break down the core doctrine of feminism, I'll have to expose the lies one by one. This will be part of a series on dismantling the lies of feminism. I need to be clear. I do not condone any form of misogyny. Being critical of or even against feminism doesn't make someone a misogynist. If you
heard that. So she don't like misogyny, but she also says that because you criticize feminism doesn't make you misogynist. And that is something that in the public square, they have a hard time squaring this, squaring that way. As soon as they conflate like a mug, as soon as you say something that is critical of feminism, the exports of feminism, the outcomes of feminism, as soon as you start talking that way, now you're misogyny, right? But no, maybe you just have a valid criticism. I mean, as a black man, feminism has done the most damage to the black community, the most damage to the mobility, upward mobility, and preservation, safety of black women. It's done all kinds of deleterious and, had terrible outcomes for the black community. But it, in particular, has had a terrible impact on black men and black boys. And so seeing that and recognizing it and calling that out doesn't make me a misogynist.
A misogynist or misogyny. So again, I'm a little bit distracted right now. I have a friend and long-term a friend of mine, man, and a potential business partner messaging me on Facebook Messenger right now as I'm multitasking internet the way that I internet. Um, so let's speed ahead just a little bit. I don't want to get too much of Dr. Thunder's commentary here. If you would like to hear that, we're going to be busy at 12:30 or 8 today. You can join our Zoom. I'll see if I can make time for that. If you guys actually want to enjoy Dr. Thunder's commentary, and I highly recommend it, I think that you would enjoy it. You can check him out at Dr. Thunder. Doctor is spelled out, and so is Thunder. It's Dr. Space Thunder. Check out his Rolling Thunder show weekday mornings, man. It's good stuff. But I don't want to give you too much of Dr. Thunder here. So I'm gonna speed through just a little bit. I definitely be over there in the mornings. I'm not gonna hold you. That's one of my go-to channels to listen to and enjoy during my weekday mornings.
It's the worst thing, this women versus men. Civilization versus civilization.
So,
Conforming to their own society, no more than you can blame a 4-year-old who was born in the United States for speaking English. People, especially when it's true. And you can't punish someone for conforming to their own society, no more than you can blame a 4-year-old who was born in the United States for speaking English. People, especially children, integrate what's around them without even trying to. I think most feminists believe in fairness and justice, but they've been misguided by pop culture, social media, and circles of university intellectuals. For me, feminism didn't originate from hatred of men, but from envy of them.
Uh-oh.
uh-oh. For her, feminism didn't originate out of hatred for men, but envy of men. And Dr. Thunder says, uh-oh. Oh, now let's see why Dr. Thunder says, uh-oh, right here. I was thinking the exact same thing when I heard it. Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Under three people watching only 97 likes. Hit that like button.
Ooh. Get past that.
Explore the woods, collect rocks, and I like to read. I was unafraid of getting dirty. I mostly played with a male cousin of mine who was the same age as me, and I remember feeling like his behavior gained me approval of my family members, but mine didn't. In fact, I felt like my family in general preferred boys. When puberty was explained to me as a child, it made me feel ill. The idea of my body going through a transformation that rendered me a woman didn't sound too appealing. I remember watching the women out in public with their perfect hair and makeup and looking so dolled up and attractive. And I remember thinking that I'm supposed to turn into that, but I didn't think I could ever be that pretty. And I hated the idea of receiving attention from men because as a child, it sounded disgusting and wrong. I associated femininity with stupidity, crying, complaining, shopping, and fragility. My mother and sisters were big believers in feminism.
What's that not the only one, John?
So,
Even though I was separated from them as a child and was raised by my
so she goes on to talk about her upbringing, and we're gonna skip past that just a little bit. So basically, she was raised away from her mother and sister, and she was still inculcated with feminist ideology. She goes on to say, let's see.
Father for the majority of my childhood, I
She was raised by her father for the majority of her childhood.
still interacted with them enough to absorb the indoctrination. In high school, during my years of self-searching, I embraced feminism fully, and I thought my beliefs would never change. I've always been a person who takes my beliefs very seriously, and I've always been determined to have the integrity to live according to those beliefs. When I started receiving attention from boys, I wasn't ready.
Sorry about that feedback. I have to remember. So I got a new toy the other day. I apologize about that feedback. I have to remember. I got a new toy the other day while out Black Friday shopping with my good brother, one of my two closest friends, Motorbike Bobby. And I'm using that handle because he is just starting a new YouTube page. Shout out to all the motorcycle enthusiasts out there, and shout out to my brother, my good friend Motorbike Bobby. Actually bought me a little new soundboard and mixer, so I appreciate Bob for that. Big shout out to Motorbike Bobby. If you are into motorcycles, you guys might want to go check out the Motorbike Bobby YouTube channel. And again, forgive me for the feedback. I'm just having to remember with this new toy, before I do certain things, I got to do certain things, you know? So I'm getting used to that. Let's proceed.
For it. I didn't know how to respond to it. I had crushes on boys, but I was always too shy to talk to them about it. I consider myself to...
And I will be right back. You guys enjoy the video, and J2 will keep you company. Won't you, J2? For those who speak droid, J2 provides excellent commentary. You got it, J2? You gonna hold it down? Okay. Count on you, buddy. You got it.
be a late bloomer. I think feminism appeals to women who are intelligent, and this is one reason why it is so insidious. As a child, I
was that in Loki Darkness?
remember thinking that I was just as smart, if not smarter, than the boys I interacted with, and this made me confused. I absorbed a message that I later identify as men are the standard, and that women are derivatives of men. When you think of a human, you think of a man, not a woman, because women are incomplete human beings. This made me feel defiant and more committed to my feminist beliefs. I genuinely felt that inside, I was no different from a boy. I also felt like the core of who I was separate from my body. I believe that the only difference between them...
Again, that's one of those unintended consequences of the Protestant Reformation, is this talk, you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. Because what it does is it trivializes the essential nature of your body, as if it's something somewhat abstract from your identity, from who you are. And it is not.
The women was what was between their legs, and I resented the idea that I would be judged by my looks just because I was born a girl. Even as a child, I understood that good looks were superficial and temporary, so I didn't see a point in putting too much stock into it. I believed I had much more to offer the world using my mind. I was taught to have disdain for men. I was taught that they were inherently malevolent and wanted to treat all women as baby-making machines.
I wonder where, as a young woman, she received that notion or idea. I have an idea where she may have began getting those type of ideas, but I mean, and that's in a general sense. I mean, in a very personal sense, like I wonder where she got that from. And then again, I don't have to wonder when I think about it. I've watched her content enough that I know where she got it from. She got it from the women in her life. It's a very interesting thing when you consider that as she still is a young woman, she received this brainwashing, this ethnicist ideology, inculcation, and indoctrination as a young woman from the women in her life. Misguided.
I think the reason feminism appealed to me so much as a teenager is because I was thirsting for an identity.
My apologies for keeping you waiting, Dre. Let me bring you in. Let me disconnect this microphone here. Let's see. Peace, 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 brother. How you doing, man?
Peace to our bro. How are you, man?
I'm well. It's good to see you. You looking well, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
It has been a minute.
But
Give me 1 second before you and I catch up because I'm on YouTube live and another. So real quick, man.
According to Erickson,
So this is my good brother Dre. Man, this is my good brother, man. So he and I had actually done some time in a Virginia prison together. If not for this guy, my Spanish wouldn't be as good as it is today. Um, this brother helped me learn and study Spanish while we were in prison together, and he actually gave me quite a few cheat codes to pick up the language much faster. Um,
yeah,
this is like a real good guy, and unfortunately, as is the law of the United States, after his prison sentence was served, he was deported back to Haiti. And so, it's been difficult at times to keep in touch. Dre, it's good to see you, man. Real good to
it's
see you,
good to
brother.
see you too.
How are you,
Good
brother?
to see you, man. Yes, we got a lot to catch up on, but I was listening to the podcast, and I just wanted to make a motion
Yes, sir.
in terms of the difference, because right now I'm living in Haiti. It's a different culture than the States.
Absolutely.
So,
It's a very different culture out
family
there.
nucleus, yeah, the family nucleus is a bit different. And instead of, like the what is it, the man and woman being independent, and it's a different nucleus, I can say, because in Haiti, um, it's understood that the family is supported by the male figure. So the woman supports the man, you know, where in the States it seems that it's not mutual, but if not mutual, then the support is given to the woman, and the male serves a subordinate position.
the male serves as subordinate to the woman in the States.
Yes.
So, and
And
let me ask just for some context for those who are listening to our conversation, and correct me if I'm wrong, you still have a sister that lives in the States, correct?
yeah, I got just all my family members is in the States right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But in
And
but in Haiti, you're saying that the women support their men because culturally,
natural.
yeah, culturally in Haiti, it is understood that the man takes the so and for those of you who have been living under a rock and you don't know what's going on in Haiti, we are receiving reports that gangs have taken over Haiti, um, and that it is you got to be a survivor in Haiti to make it right now. And I am guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, Dre, that the family unit that you're talking about, like the way that the family come together, it is
Yeah.
crucial to survival.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial. I would say a man is looked at in Haiti. A man is looked at as being how can I say incomplete if he doesn't have a woman in his life. Like he doesn't have that woman support. Like it's looked at as something that's awkward. As something that's not normal because normally it's the men and woman complement each other. So if you don't have the support of a woman, uh, you're missing something basically, you know. But I think especially at this time, just to give you the context of what's going on right now in Haiti, um, it's several armed groups in Haiti right now, each vying for power, and the power is based on economics, based on politics, but more so, what's influencing the situation in Haiti right now is the outside forces, meaning that there's external um, forces that are causing this situation to play out the way it's playing out.
So, in other words, the interests of other nations are being represented in Haiti.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because you imagine, Haiti don't make no guns.
But y'all got
All
plenty
these
of them
guns
out
come
there.
from yeah, all these guns come from Miami. For what purpose? Who are these groups that's sending these guns or that's pushing these guns to Haiti? You know, what for what interest? Like, is it simply to sell guns, or is there something um I could say ulterior motive for them doing that? And so once you learn that, once you figure that out, then you realize, it's not something just it's not a hazard. Like it's something that's it has a definitive plan behind it. It has a force that's controlling it. So,
So
but we're
most definitely, and not to cut you off, but I would, I mean, I agree 100% for anyone who does not realize that, like if you think that like the Haitian people are just like tripping out and like, oh, they just running around wilding for no reason, then you are sadly mistaken and you are an absolute idiot. You're a moron. There are controlling interest groups that are outside of Haiti operating in Haiti through proxies. Um, and a lot of these nations are, they're European nations. There is France, there is Canada, there is, of course, uh, uh, Dominican Republic, you know, there's a lot of other nations that have some type of interest in what goes on in Haiti. Everyone wants to control the resources, and no one wants to, let the people of Haiti determine their own future and control their own resources. Bottom line is what it comes down to. Am I correct on that? More or less?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's different interest groups, like you say, mainly it's the United States and the Dominican Republic are the two main external forces, I would say, that dictates the way uh, the insecurity is played out in Haiti right now. Um, but it just goes to show, like, it's certain things that they leave out in the news and everywhere else. You know, they don't give you uh, the origin of the whole thing. They just tell you that, Haiti is taken over by gangs or whatever. But there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, and that I believe that in and of itself is an intentional mislabeling. They say that they are gangs, and no doubt I've seen some, some social media footage. There's some gangsters. Some of those guys are gangsters, and some of those brothers out there are involved in gangs. But when looked at um, through like the lens of reality, they're not gangs. They are political movements. In essence, is what they are. This is like these are groups who are jockeying for position and for power for the group that they belong to. And that in and of itself is the very essence and nature of politics.
Yeah. So going back to the conversation of the family nucleus and the role that, especially when in certain times of hardship, the family has to be knit real tight in order for us to continue to survive. And so, whether in a situation of economic poverty or whatever conditions that, whether natural or man-made, that becomes upon us as a culture or society, we have to learn how to survive it. And so, it shouldn't be a thing where a male and a figure and a female figure is fighting or being for power within that family nucleus. No, each is supposed to understand their role, and so that we continue to survive. So I think it has to be from that standpoint. Like it's a thing of survival. It's a thing of us continuing to maintain our culture, our generation, and so that we continue to survive as a people.
Absolutely.
So normally the man is supposed to have that support. He's supposed to have the female support, and without that, he's being looked at as being odd because you don't exist. It's the law of duality. You can't exist without that the other half of yourself, and together you'd be able to unite and make something greater. So that's the whole idea. And so without that, you're weaker, and your chances of survival is basically
literally cut in half.
Yeah.
So, would you say you've lived in both United States and of course your homeland, home island of Haiti, and good and bad times, horrible times right now. How are you surviving out there? I think, and before you answer this question, let me say this real quick. I think of you as a leader and a diplomat. Um, I walked the prison yard with you, and I know your ability to communicate. I know that you are highly intelligent. I know you are a leader. You know, you are a leader. And you are, and have the ability to be, when you choose to be, very diplomatic. I've never known you in any other capacity other than, you know, diplomatic. You know, that's just the way you move through, you know, the society. Um,
Yeah.
and in terms of what's going on in Haiti right now, I think oftentimes I'd be like, man, I see the news or I see something on social media, and I'm like, man, I hope the brother is all right. And as I said before, I know that you're extremely sharp. I know you're smart, and I also know again that you are a leader. So how are you surviving? You know, how are you surviving, and what's going on like with you just personally? Like how are you moving? I imagine that you are out there being the natural leader that you are amongst your people.
Yeah, I think wherever you're at, whatever environment that you're in, survival is the primary objective.
Absolutely.
Um, especially coming from the harsh environments that we know you and I come from, and so we know how to survive. We know that we're mentally intact enough to survive any situation. Um, but again, I have a family nucleus. I have my kids. I have my girl, and I have to preserve them. I have to preserve that family nucleus. That's the first thing. And so, in spite of everything that's going on, um, you have to be a leader. You have to actually foresee things. You have to plan. You have to strategize and see how to actually, survive the situation or the condition that you put in. So for me, it's what's the term? In spite of being in the chaos, you can still have a sense of order about your life. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So,
Absolutely.
in spite of everything that's going on, the way that you move, the way that you train and develop your kids, your nucleus, it helps you feel a sense of order in spite of everything that's going on. So, um, I focus on the small developments that I can make, and I think eventually things change. Things can't stay this way for but so long because change is a natural law. Everything has to change. So the goal is to always be prepared and prepare yourself. So whenever that change comes about, you're prepared and you're able to seize whatever opportunities that come. So, but yeah, definitely been surviving and doing some ventures, some businesses,
Absolutely.
and most importantly, to continue playing my role as a leader and giving that knowledge not only to my C's but every the community as a general.
Let me ask a question. It's something I've been very curious about since like they brought police forces from Kenya and I can't remember right now the other place, but you have like the Kenyan police out there. Um, what is that like? Have you had any type of interaction with with like any of the Kenyans who what is it like relations between you know the Haitian brothers and the Kenyan brothers? And what is the overall sentiment of the people in Haiti having like the Kenyan police force there?
Um, there's the Kenyan forces, there's a few forces from other Caribbean countries that are in Haiti right now. And the overall sentiment is that they're ineffective because we know what's going on. You know, and so
Home field advantage.
we know how to resolve the situation. We know what needs to change in order for the situation to change. So bringing the Kenyan forces and other coalition is not that's not the answer. And you know, we such Haitians, we such a pride, people full of pride, and it's hard for us to see someone coming and how can I say it? Like we don't even look at it as having an effect in terms of what's going on in Haiti and how what the outcome. We just don't even think about that because at the end of the day, we know that these external forces can't really dictate anything. We know that everything is in our hands, so we have to make things happen on our own. So I think the overall sentiment is that they're ineffective and there's no need for it. And a lot of people know the true reason. Like the money, so-called, I don't know how much money it was that I think like 20 million or something. So the money that's supposed to go to these forces is being pocketed. We know that. And so the effect that it could have, it won't have because naturally, if Haitians had the means, if we had the equipment and the drones and everything else, we can handle ourselves
Right.
and provide our own security
Right.
and defeat any armed group that is in the territory. So we know that. So the fact that we're not being given these equipment and this money is being pocketed, and we got people standing around that are not really doing anything, you know. And you see, like the Kenyan forces are basically stationed around the American embassy. They're basically protecting the American embassy.
Foreign
and
interests.
Of you know of the outside. So they're not doing anything for the Haitian people. That's the overall sentiment, I would say.
So I do another question that I have. The so-called rival gangs in Haiti, right? Like, what are the? And this is just for my own personal understanding because I want to get a better knowledge of like what are the interests of these rival Haitian groups?
Yeah, I think how because things don't happen for no reason. There's always a backdrop of how we got to this point.
Right.
And so um, I think it's very important to understand that. Like this is not something that's it just happened to be. But I think when you talk of interest, the principal motivator for these games is different groups. I would say if you go back to after the earthquake, um, when money was being poured from Haiti, all this aid money was being poured into Haiti, you had a lot of foreign interest in Haiti, and it was to the point where it was a large scale corruption. A lot of money that was supposed to go to rebuilding Haiti didn't actually go to rebuilding the country, and got to a point where the focus went away from rebuilding, and it went more to just personal interest, you know. And at that point, the leader, the Haitian president at that point, he was backed by America, I mean, by the Democrats at that time, and even you will see a lot of the policy that was being pushed right now with at that time were being pushed by the American interests. So move forward to I think 2015, there were elections, and that interest or that president that was in place, they wanted a continuum. They wanted to continue that same control. And I think that's when everything turned around. And so they felt like they were at a position that they could lose that control. And the strategy was to bring in guns into the country so that they can hold on to that power, so that they can continue to play that interest. Because you know the role of foreign countries meddling into other countries' elections, trying to put in their own puppets or whatever. So that's one aspect of it. Just holding on to control, being in a position of power, and I think that's when you saw the certain amount of guns were entering into the country from Miami. And when you look at the groups that were bringing these guns, and even today, a whole lot of information has been revealed of the different players that were behind this the shipping containers of guns into Haiti. So it's just to hold on to their power. And overall, there's a economical fight as well, because there's the old generation, not generation, but the how can I say it? The previous group that was in power, that had control of the markets, that had control of the economy, was all of a sudden being confronted by a new group of actors. And so that struggle is being played out between the old owners of the market and the new owners of the market that wants to, by all means, take a share of that market.
So the old guard against the new guard, and I definitely, I mean, I would imagine, it seems common sense. You know better than I do because you on the ground out there in Haiti. You know that there are interests, foreign interests, outside of Haiti and the Haitian people who are vying for, who is going to get the right to rebuild. Who's going to, what foreign interests and what organizations are going to get to, come in and take credit for cleanup and rebuilding, because there's, I imagine, hundreds of billions of dollars, and profit to be had in rebuilding a nation.
Yeah. Not just for the, because most of the money was pocketed anyway. I think it was the amount of $6 billion that was to go toward rebuilding Haiti.
Let me ask this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe a long time ago, you and I were having a conversation, and refresh my memory. You were telling me something about like there's an organization, maybe an NGO or some type of nonprofit that was, I guess, like the Clintons were like, had something to do with it, and like they were getting a lot of money because of like the rice and food, grain and stuff like that. They somehow profit off of that.
Oh yeah, that's I would would say that the Clintons are one of the biggest influencer when it comes to the situation that's being played out in Haiti. Because
And we talking about Bill and Hillary Clinton, right?
yeah, I would say early on, back in the early '90s, Bill Clinton had a big part into implementing certain economical changes in Haiti. You know, we had a lot of, I would say, we had a lot of local and national companies that were producing rice, that were producing certain local foods, and all of a sudden those companies were either sold or privated by other companies. And what we saw was an importation of goods from Midwest America. Like we right now, the amount of U.S. rice in Haiti is just so it floods the whole market. So to get local rice in Haiti is damn near, you're paying nearly double the price for the U.S. Rice.
Wow.
It's basically they killing our local production.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Because they flood our markets with some of this foreign products.
Real quick, Dre, I just want to acknowledge my brother Bobby, NBA 24, just stepped in the building. I wish that you two brothers would have sometime in the future opportunity to meet one another. Bobby, NBA 24, and I have been like the real close friends since the age of 2 years old. Bobby, this is my man. Dre is like the black Lex Luthor. It's my good Haitian brother, man. And the last couple years of my prison sentence, I spent walking the rec yard with this guy. And after his sentence was complete, of course, they deported him back to Haiti. And, it's been a minute since he and I have had an opportunity to catch up. He dropped out. Hopefully he'll pop back in. But this my man. He hopped on here, saw me streaming this morning. And I'm on YouTube at the same time. I ain't forget about you, YouTube. Hey, Bob, this my man. Good brother. We used to walk the yard and practice Spanish together, work out together, share good books, keep one another motivated and sharp, winding down towards the end of our prison sentences. And yeah, man, that's family right there, man. And I appreciate you pulling up and being here, Bobby. Salamu alaikum rahmatullah. Content creating, man. Early in the morning. Dre, if you still on, man, and if you are able, man, pop back in. I love to finish our conversation here or in private if you prefer. Hit me anytime, man. I know I've been MIA dealing with my own issues for some time, man, but I'm doing better, feeling better, motivated, and I would love to be able to help in any way that I can, brother. Thank you for pulling up and checking me out today, by the way. Anytime you're ready, man, just send a request. I'm gonna keep checking that joint so I don't miss it, man. So I was talking about I was actually doing a channel check episode 2, channel check 2 live, and we were reviewing Dr. Thunder's recent Feelings Over Family, Downfall of the West video, wherein Dr. Thunder was reviewing other content creators and highlighting the way in which women all too often choose to prioritize their own feelings over the needs of their husbands, their child's father, and their children. And my man Dre hopped on to chime in and let us know that in Haiti, the women understand their role is to be a support system for the men. And my boy Dre, of course, he's lived in both the United States and in Haiti. And so he was, our conversation started off with him highlighting the fact that we're backwards in the United States, and that the women tend to try to, they like and try to keep men seemingly in a more subordinate role to women in the United States. That the society itself seems to be designed to keep men in a position that is subordinate to women, as opposed to Haiti, where all hell is breaking loose and has been breaking loose, and women understand their role, which points to the fact, just like in a lot of other nations that are destabilized, past, present, and future, once the ish hits the fan, all of that I'm strong, independent, and I don't need no man crap goes out the window. And we see that time and time and time again in various nations. Once the crap splatters the fan, all of that I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, all of it goes out the window. And reality sets in for women. And they all of a sudden somehow remember their place in the natural order. I've been live streaming for
2 hours.
2 hours and 12 minutes or so.
on YouTube. And I think even though I didn't make it through all the videos that I wanted to make it through just yet, I think I'm going to take a break. Channel check episode 2. YouTube, man, rock with me. I'm trying to get myself used to being in front of the camera every day, all day, because I'm trying to do this content creation thing full time. I'm gonna leave you with a sample of my good brother Ryan or Deuce, man, as I bring this video to a close. And I'm only gonna give you a sample. Go to on YouTube at Ryan or Deuce. That is RianOrDuece on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. It's my good brother. It's my man. And ain't nobody messing with Slim when it comes to this rap stuff with this hip hop, man. We bringing life back to hip hop right now. Leave you with a sample, man. Y'all go check it out.
Conductor. Don't shoot me. Say right there. Your brother Ryan is tell everybody somewhere. Moving through the streets of Denver. Marijuana all in my car. My thoughts were focused on unfinished business I got back in Virginia. And then my thoughts were interrupted by something that someone sent me on the post about rappers and clothes. Yeah, these rappers are hoes. This a box in front of the fat fingers of your Santa Claus. Either way I'm rapping is hoes. I hate these rappers, I know it is stupid. I'm ECE with a PhD. I'm thinking you knew that I am a highly intelligent nigga who can even ruthless. Whether or not you see me behind the wheel of that coupe moving. Hey y'all, point like cool T, it's me, brother. Red bottom joint.